Hi guys, it's Jayma Malmy at jaymamalmy.com, and I wanted to show you how to use Close to My Heart's new Thin Cuts dies, and also how to use them with the coordinating stamp sets, and while I'm at it, how to use our embossing folders. So I'm going to be using a Cuttlebug because that's the machine I have. You can do this with any die cutting machine, and so I'll be showing you how to use the Cuttlebug if you don't already know how. So first I want to show you how I store. These are the dies that do not coordinate with stamp sets. So this is one of the stamp envelopes that Close to My Heart puts all of their stamp sets in. You can buy them separately. So I store my dies in there that don't already have a stamp set that they go with. And they come in a plastic envelope like this that seals on the top, but I cut the top off. And then this is actually a magnet, so they stick right on there and you're not going to lose them. So I cut the top off so I can easily slip them in and out of here. And then it still has the label on it, so I know which die set it is. But then I put them in this envelope together so they stay nice and neat. And then with the stamp sets, we have a lot of stamp sets now that coordinate with die cuts. So this particular one is retired. It was from this past summer, but it has die cuts that go with it, and you can see the outline here. And so I keep the die cuts just right on the other side, and that way they're always together. So I'm going to show you how to stamp with the coordinating dies a couple of ways, and then how to use the Cuttlebug machine. So I'm going to set this aside for now, and I'm just going to show you really quickly. There's a couple of ways that that you can do this. I think that the easiest way is to stamp your image first. So I'm going to peel this flamingo off and put it on a block. And let's see, I'm going to grab some Pixie ink, and I've used a stamp set before, but if you have not used a stamp set before, it's a good idea to kind of get the oils from your skin on the stamp, and that helps it get a nice crisp image. And then also do a couple of stamps onto scrap paper before you do it onto your good paper, and that just helps get the manufacturing gunk off. And you can also kind of twist it on your stamp pad. So I'll do a couple times. So there's my stamp. Now I think the easiest way is to then use your die cut and line it up. Now you're going to have to do the flamingo's feet afterwards, but at least you can line up your body, because I think it's easiest to do that. And then I take a little piece of washi tape. We all know we have a million of these in our collections, except I can't find the end. There it is. And just hold it in place like that. And now here is where we're going to use our die cut machine. So what I like about the Cuttlebug is that right now it can wobble around, but once you open it, it's got suction cups on its feet, so now it's not going to move anywhere. The other thing that's nice is that this folds up, so it makes it easy to store. Some of the die cut machines do not. Now the Cuttlebug comes with these 4 plates. I have an older model. I think it's still the same. It comes with this bigger plate, 2 B plates, and a C plate. And the C plate, as you can see, is a little bit thicker than the B plate. So if you have thinner dies, like the thin cuts we're going to use, we're going to sandwich with this thicker one, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. And then some die cuts that are maybe a little bit thicker, you'll want a thinner plate, because you want to have enough pressure as it goes through the machine to cut. So this is just like a platform. That's the bottom. They're going to put the B plate in to sandwich it, which is the thinner plate. Then I'm going to put my paper in, And then I'm putting the C plate as the top of my sandwich, and that should give it the right thickness for the thin cut to go through. And you're just going to crank it through. Sometimes I like to go through again just to make sure I get a good cut. And now it should pop right out. So you've got your little flamingo. And now for its legs, not all the dies are like this, but for its legs, we're going to want to go back and do the legs. So they're right next to this flamingo. So I'm going to I haven't cleaned that yet, but I'm going to put it on the same block. And then you want to get right over it. The nice thing about these stamps is that they're clear, so you can see right through and line it up. Now, if you wanted to, you could cut out all of these shapes first and then stamp them, because you can see, but I feel like you just get a little bit more control when you die cut it second. But you can totally do it the other way around and just line it up and stamp them all afterwards. So that's how you die cut. Now, I want to show you really quick. This is our new holiday catalog. And so when you look through here, you'll see some stamp sets that have a blue outline. See if you can see this. So the stamp set, for example, has a blue outline around the tree, around the snowflakes, and around this deer, and around this banner. And then you see over here that there's these die cuts that go with it. So the thin cut dies, just like this, like I used, there's a coordinating one to this stamp set, and it comes with all of these shapes, and you can actually get it as a bundle. And so that's what the blue outlines mean in the catalog. There's also in the catalog some red outlines, and what that means is that it coordinates with one of our Cricut cartridges, which is a whole different deal. And then here's some of the holiday embossing folders, and I'm going to show you those in a minute. But here's some of the holiday and Christmas die cuts that do not go with stamp sets. So they are like kind of standalone thin cuts. So I'm going to show you how to do the embossing. Same machine and same sandwich. So these are 5x7. Not all of the embossing folders that you get at the store are 5x7. Some of them are for smaller cards, but this will emboss for a 5x7 card. The other nice thing about Close to My Heart's embossing folders is that there's this slit right here. So also not all embossing folders have that. Some of them are sealed up here. So if you have a longer piece of paper, you can stick it through, and it doesn't make a crease when you close it. So I'll show you what I mean. If I wanted to emboss this whole thing, I can start like this and close it, and then I'm going to put it through the same sandwich. Actually, I lied. You need the thinner one. So you need 2 B's, because this is thicker than the thin cuts. So since this C platform, or the C part of the sandwich, is thicker, it was too fat for this to go through because the embossing folder is thicker than that thin cut die. So I needed the 2 B's to make it thinner so it would go all the way through. Alright, so now you've got this cool impression. Now say I wanted to go all the way down and my piece is bigger than 7 inches. So what you're going to do is line this up, and this can stick out on this end. It can stick out on this end too, but say you have like a really long piece, it just makes it handy to be able to do this. Alright, what am I doing wrong? I don't have this end all the way. Okay. I can't be quite all the way at the edge. No, I don't need to go all the way through because I'm just doing on the edge there. But now you've got it going all the way through. I didn't line it up quite right, but if you spent the time and did it right, that's kind of a nice feature. So that's how you use the embossing folders, and there's all kinds of different designs for those. In our holiday catalog, there's these lights, and then there's the snowflakes. So it just makes the impression in those designs. And then this is our annual catalog. This is good for all year. And here's all the dies. I showed you these ones earlier. These are sets of 3 for $14.95. And then there's just the single love, that's $10.95. Happy is $13.95. Hello and thanks are $11.95. Celebrate is $13.95. The pricing all depends on how much metal there is. So there's those thin cuts. And then these are the embossing folders. Let's see if I can show you. I can't get a really good, let's see, it's a little better. I can't get a really good shot with the lighting in here. But there's a wood planks, some confetti, some V's. This is like a word search. This is confetti stars. This is confetti dots. This has a bunch of words. And then you can see some examples here with the thin cuts. These are the stars. Whoops, out of the picture. Those are the stars there. And here's an impression. So that's how the thin cuts and the die cuts work. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know this was really quick, but let me know if you have any questions and I'd be happy to answer them for you. Thanks a lot.